are now listening to On One Radio, the talk show podcast station, bringing you the current events and issues. All information and resources are based on the opinions of the host unless otherwise noted. This podcast may contain some quotations, images, and/or excerpts from copyright material. These uses fall well within the copyright doctrine of fair use. This is the news report, and I am your host, Tony. Hi and welcome. This is your news report, and I'm your host, Tony Williams. Welcome. Now, like you, I have been suffering the heat wave as well. Now, that's news that everyone knows, but just how deep does it go? Or should I say, how hot and far it has reached? Now, we've had a heat wave that's pretty much baked the western part of the United States with a triple digit heat index. Now, it includes several places including Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Arkansas, Louisiana, Alabama, Tennessee, and Virginia. Now, like those places, there are other states that it has reached, just as California is known for the wildfires, and a few have sparked there. So that's what we're going to talk about, this heat wave and what's going on with it and how we can maneuver and deal with it in a safe manner, and not stroke out from a heat stroke. I don't want anyone out there running laps and doing jumping jacks during the heat wave. That is not a good thing. Now, the most far-reaching heat wave of the summer is now underway across the western states. Now, more than 150 record high temperatures will be challenged through the middle of next week, especially for San Antonio, Sacramento, and Seattle. Excessive heat watches, warnings, and heat advisories are in effect for 12 or more states, including most of California. More than 50 million people will swelter in highs over 100 degrees through next week and maybe beyond. Now, after climbing to a scorching 128 degrees on July 11th, Death Valley is once again forecast to breach 125 degrees over the weekend. And unlike past heat waves, this summer the hot weather will not spare anyone in the region. I mean, we're dealing with excessive heat. Not close enough to the ocean to escape the heat. Los Angeles may hit 105 over the weekend, with the fast-moving lake fire raging in the mountains 50 miles north of the city. Firefighters were worried that the hot, dry weather will make matters worse, which we can understand that because, yeah, it's hot. It's hot as hell. Like, really hot. Now, over the week, the heat stretched from Texas, where highs will be around 105 in various parts of the state, up through the Valley of California, also near 105. Now, in Phoenix, which has already eclipsed its record for the most days above 110 degrees of any summer on record, highs are expected to top that number every day from Friday through the next couple of weeks. In fact, the daily record high temperature is in jeopardy of being topped every day. That's a little scary. It's a little scary because, we have the children, we have the elderly, and then there are those who are still working. We still have professionals that work outside. So that's kind of worrisome. And I don't want anybody to get sick or get hurt. But the numbers are high. We broke pretty much the records, all of them. When I say all of them, all of them. We have warnings, we have heat advisories where you live. I'm pretty sure either your phone has went off, you got an email, if you're connected like that, or you've seen the news or heard it on the radio. So what can we do to make it through this? Well, there are a few things that we can do, and I'll give some tips and everything to try to help. First and foremost, never leave children, disabled adults, or pets in parked vehicles. Now, over the years, we've had some issues with children dying in hot vehicles. Let's not do that. It is never safe to leave a toddler, disabled person, or pet locked in a car, even in the winter. If you have a toddler in your household, lock your cars, even in your own driveway. You should do that anyway to deter your car being broken into. But also because kids play in cars or wander outside and get into a car, and they can die in about 10 minutes. A reported 15 toddlers have died in hot cars so far in 2020. A death was reported as early as April. Cars can heat up quickly when left in the sun. So let's not do that. Let's not forget the kids in the car. Keep the car locked so they can't go out there because, kids are curious and it's hot. They don't understand what heat wave is. They really don't. Now, heat is one of the leading weather-related killers in the United States, resulting in hundreds of fatalities each year and even more heat-related illnesses. In addition to carefully watching toddlers, check in on older relatives who don't have air conditioning. If you can get them fans or if you can get them an air conditioner, please do. This group is also more at risk of heat illnesses and death. Now, there are precautionary preparedness actions you can take. So let's see what they are and take them. Take extra precaution if you work or spend time outside. When possible, reschedule strenuous activities to early mornings or evenings. Know the signs and symptoms of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Also, wear lightweight and loose-fitting clothing when possible, and drink plenty of water. Now, to reduce risk during outdoor work, the Occupational Safety and Health Administration recommends scheduling frequent rest breaks in shaded or air-conditioned environments. Now, you also want to eat small meals and eat more often and avoid dehydrating alcohol, sugary, or caffeinated drinks. Anyone overcome by heat should be moved to a cool and shaded location. Recognize the signs and symptoms of heat-related illness. Early signs include thirst and muscle cramps. Heat exhaustion may include cool, moist, pale skin, headache, dizziness, weakness or exhaustion, as well as nausea. The most serious illness is heat stroke, which may include vomiting, confusion, throbbing headache, decreased alertness, or loss of consciousness, high body temperature above 105, hot, dry skin, rapid, weak pulse, rapid, shallow breathing, and even seizures. Heat stroke is an emergency. So call 911 if you notice these things. It's very important. It's very, very important because the heat does not give, it does not wane, it does not play. So we're not going to play around with the heat. And a tip for those housewives, if you don't know, if you cook your dinner early that morning in the coolest part of the day, you don't have to worry about heating up your house in the hottest part. Because in the evening, you don't want to be trying to get the kids ready for bed, get you and your spouse ready for bed, and the house is all hot because you done cooked. So even though you done took a shower, you're laying there sweating and you're like, ugh, it's still hot. So that's one tip for you. Just try cooking early. Or you could even, if you just gotta cook in the evening time, don't bake. Don't turn your oven on. Between the hours of, let's say, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m., don't do any baking. Don't do any baking. You can actually do lighter meals as well. So there's some things that you can do, and make sure you keep a lot of water on hand, because kids like to run and play, and I know they're not going to stop because it's a heat wave. Even inside the house, they're going to be ripping and running. So just find things for them to do so they can kind of sit down and, stay cool, and their body temperature will be cool. They can play games and color draw, whatever. You can do that as a family. It's totally up to you. But there are things that you can do indoors that's much safer than being outdoors. You can just get creative with it. Don't stop your life. Have fun, but avoid the heat if at all possible. If at all possible. Take these extra precautions to stay healthy, because we don't want you stroking out. We don't want anybody stroking out from the heat. We just don't. It's not good. We want people to live happy and healthy lives, and that heat is not playing, and it will mess you over. It will seriously mess you over. So just take care of yourselves and heed the warnings. Each state has its own set of warnings, emergency broadcast warnings that they send out. Stay up to date with it, and hopefully things will begin to kind of simmer down and begin to cool off some, because we definitely need it. Take extra precaution with your pets. If you can bring them indoors during the hottest part of the day, that's fine. If not, if you need to move them from one area of the yard to another where it's shaded, that's going to help them. And also, a little thing that I do with the family dog, I actually, when I give her water, I put ice cubes in it, because she's an outside dog. She's up under a huge tree, and she has one of those thermal type houses, so she's good on that point. But I try to take the extra precaution for her, because she's like one of the family as well. And if you treat your pets well, you're not going to let them out. You don't let them have a heat stroke neither, because they can too. So just take care of them. You can also wet them down with the hose. If you gotta go somewhere like in the middle of the day or something, and you notice your dog over there panting real heavy, spray them with the water hose real quick and then move along. So take care of yourselves. Avoid the heat, especially the hottest part of the day. Avoid outdoor sports at the heat of the day as well. I know that's hard to say, and it's harder to do than it is to say. But this heat wave is not playing. And if there's any more news that comes back, I will definitely update you all on what's taking place. So take care of yourselves. This has been your news report. Have a cool, relaxed, yet wonderful day.